Well, hello, Bob Dandry here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. So we're once again starting off on Peoria Bank, and this is a stretch of track that is causing a lot of network friction. As you can see, trains are not moving fast up this bank, especially our fully laden freight trains, and I'm going to start off today by trying to do something about that. So, first of all, I just want to pull up our contour line layer and just have a look and see what sort of grades we're dealing with here, because obviously the grades are quite significant. If we start off sort of down here, if we look at our height at mouse cursor, 6.7 meters, so barely above sea level. And if we go up to the entry to our tunnel right here, we're looking at 62 meters. That's a very, I would say, very significant grade, considering this is not a particularly long. It's like a couple of kilometers. And that's part of the reason why trains are running so slow through here. But we do have an alternate route that I would like to consider. So if we start over here at our around about 6.7, 6.8 meters, we can basically skirt around Peoria and slowly start to go up over a much longer period of time, and then join up again near Laredo. I'm not sure if we would go on the bottom of Laredo from our current location, or we would go up towards the top here. I would suggest probably up towards the top. And basically, we'll avoid this stretch of track. I would probably only do this as a one-way, and that is taking fully laden trains around the slope. Empty trains and trains coming back the other way can still use this grade, I think. So where would we begin this? I'd probably actually avoid this sort of section of track altogether, to be honest, and maybe break off sort of around here or so. And we're going to start to do that, to be honest. I'm just going to pull this up again and see. So 5.8, so still fairly low sort of height there. And if we basically break off sort of around here or so, and we've also got our helpful tools here telling us how far we're going up as well. And we're not going up a hell of a lot here, which is good. I am going to turn off catenary as well, because we do not need overheads here at this point. And as you can see, we are going up, obviously, but nowhere near as much as we'd be going using this route. I suspect it's probably actually going to be quicker to do this as well. We want to make sure we are still heading up at least, or at least staying level and not going back down. And we do have apparently we're trying to bridge here. And I'm not against that, to be honest. We've got a lot of new bridges we've unlocked as well. I think we might just go with a standard one though. And then I'm thinking we should pretty much be able to cut straight across here. We are heading back down, and I'm okay with that. And basically what I want to do, we want to try and limit any disruption or any conflict on this line. I think that's probably going to be the best way to make this smooth. So we may need to potentially... Actually, we're going to ignore that. So we've got here a one-way track that goes all the way around Peoria Bank. I wonder if anyone wants to use this by default. I'm going to say probably not, but let's have a look and see. So no one wants to use this right now, and that's okay. What we are going to do as well is actually switch this track around. So we have a track coming and sort of joining up on a bit of a triangle here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that no one is using this bottom track here. No. So what we're going to do, we're going to split this one off here. It is going to be quite a a significant little bend, but it's the start of the line, so I think it's okay. I'm not necessarily having any issues with doing that. I'm just trying to work out how we can join this up here. So they're going to be using, our freight train will be using this bottom pair of tracks. So we should be able to break off and join up here. It's not the best, but certainly not the worst sort of connection we could make there. And then I'm just going to signal this fairly easily, just nice one-way auto sig all the way through. That should be fairly good. And I just want to put a signal here and one over here as well. So yeah, this is an interesting little new build we've done here. I think it should work okay. We do have a fair bit of traffic backing up here as well, I'm noticing. Possibly blocking each other as well. I don't know why you're not going. Oh no, never mind. It's because you are waiting for you. Okay, cool. Yes, fair enough. It all makes sense. And now I'm going to see if we can get some trains using this this little bypass line. So first things first, SR to Everett Steel, I believe, is a good option here. If we remove these, we can instead, and also we need to change our terminal. And perfect. And it's using it by default. So that is good. And it's actually going the way I want it to go as well. It's going this way here. The question is, where is it going from there? Can we just isolate you, please? I reckon we are going a very long way around here. So we do need to make a, oh here we are, we're going like literally all the way around. We do need to make a connection here, and there's a couple of options we've got here to make that happen. First of all, we need to fix this and connect up on the other side here. I considered, and in fact we could actually join up from this other set of tracks. But I wonder if that is going to be useful to us or not. It could be. So we might do it. I'm hoping we're not going to be encouraging heaps of trains to be using this, because this is pretty much just a connection for that steel train and nothing else. Okay, now. Oh yes, we do actually need to change over to the other set of tracks, don't we? Yes, we do. It should be okay. What we should be able to do here is build a large sort of double slip through here. That should allow us to move through there. Now we're still not, though. So apparently that's definitely not their preferred route, is it? Oh, okay. It's because they need to join up to a different platform. And that's fair enough. To Terminal 6. And perfect. Then we've got everything we need. Yep. Excellent. Okay, so that's a pretty good connection, I think. So that is going to hopefully speed up our traversal of Peoria Bank significantly by putting in this little connection here. I'm going to smooth out the terrain a little bit just so it looks a little bit less ugly. All right, that is the first train that we can run through that. Second one, we could run our stone trains coming from LA that way as well. Basically, what they will need to do, I think, to be able to make this work is to actually head in the opposite direction and head through LA and around the back. I don't necessarily think that's going to cause us an issue. Let's just have a quick look and see what our thoughts are on that. This is LA to Laredo Stone. So if we pull these out and instead add this, we can head that way instead. And yeah, it's as I suspected, we are going to be heading in the opposite direction. And that is okay. Over here at our Las Vegas chemical plant, I actually do want to expand the number of tracks we're running here as well. And that should hopefully, obviously we've got a little bit of backup here, not too much, but it may help to smooth the flow of grain through here as well. Don't know why it's putting so many separate little segments in here. Certainly a little bit annoying. Okay, that should change things up a little bit. Don't know where you are going. I feel like you should be going back the other way, mate. Is it because you are not going to the right platform? No? Okay, I don't know why it didn't want to stop there, but it is going to stop. And that's the important thing. Alright, so over sort of a little bit of a period of time over the last few episodes, we have implemented 2 new passenger lines, being the Salem to Roseville via Fullerton line and the Peoria to Roseville via New York line. And both of those lines do not have any freight servicing them. So what I'd like to do is to start getting some freight set up to really service these lines. Now, I think at the moment we are becoming quite limited in our current network, so we do need to bring in some more production into what we're doing. What I'm noticing is we have right here, we have a fuel refinery in San Francisco that will take, what is it called? Sand oil, I think it is, or oil sand, and will produce fuel straight from that. Now, we don't have many opportunities to do that because it's not a common industry. I think we have one over here at El Paso, which is not too bad, to be honest. And we have one over here at Chandler. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the only 2 oil sand mines we have. So what I'd like to do is see if we can get both of those feeding. In fact, we've got another one over here at Glendale, my mistake. But what I'd like to do is get 2 feeding in to San Francisco, start producing some more fuel. And that should help... So it's going to help San Francisco, obviously, because San Francisco needs fuel. And we can certainly get some of the excess shipped around and into our greater freight network if that's what we're wanting to do. So let's get a cargo terminus station in here. Go a 320 meter long, and we'll go 4 tracks for the moment. That will allow us plenty of potential throughput there. And we're just pretty much going to join up with the network itself and just see where we can go from there, really. And we will make this a triangle because we are wanting to potentially send trains in both directions. Next off, what we need to do here is make a connection between this El Paso oil sand and our line through to San Francisco. And I don't think we have a connection at the moment. Actually, we probably can with some double slips. That's probably too oblique for a double slip. It is indeed. But we can probably do one somewhere. I'm thinking probably right here. Yes, they are flat connections, so we don't like those, but we're not going to be using these really very often. They're only for very specific services that we'll be using those flat junctions. But here is our oil sand mine. And we are going to get 2 platforms of oily goodness. I'm just wondering where we potentially would be best to connect that. Because we're slightly constrained, not too bad. We might actually not use a terminus station, instead connect up like this. We're probably going to tunnel, I'm guessing. No, we're managing to avoid it, which is good. We're getting too much slope at the moment. Which we could fix by potentially pulling this back a little bit. It was actually a really easy one. All right, and that is it in terms of getting our oil sand train set up. And what carries oil sand? I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming it's going to be a gondola, right? Apparently not. It's a boxcar? A tank? Do I not have a vehicle that can carry oil sand? It's looking like I don't. That is interesting. Oh, okay. Flat cars. That's definitely not what I expected. So this may break, potentially. But let's have a look. We'll get some Pacifics running on here. And a beautiful mediocre train. We'll get 2 of those. A new line is going to be established. And that is a beautiful little connection there. In terms of San Francisco itself, we can probably just run our fuel in via truck. I will do a few little changes, however, to the just to make development a little bit easier here, I think. It's a very strange connection there. I don't think I did that one. It's possible I did. All right, so let's get a truck unload stop over here. And we can get a truck station over here. And we may as well chuck a few bus stops in as well so we can service the city from a public transport point of view. We've also got someone complaining. It's usually trains mutually blocking each other on my networks. And yeah, that is definitely a mutual block and a half. Let's turn you around. This should not be here, this signal. The signal should be like here. In fact, we may as well just leave them, actually. All right, anyway, where were we? So I'm going to get a road depot down here. Just put it on the outskirts of the town as we do. Yeah, first of all, we'll get our fuel trucks set up. Beautiful. And next we will get some public transport running. Get maybe 5 running for the moment. Cool. So that should be San Francisco partially taken care of. Obviously, we still need goods, and goods is something we probably still have a significant shortage of. We also do need to have a way to feed this fuel into our greater network. So we want to basically be potentially running a fuel train from here to one of our hubs. Laredo is an option. So we could make a connection like so. Oh, that's actually easier said than done because there's quite a significant grade change there, but that works. Apparently that connection works. I don't know if that's going to work in practice, but it says it works. Okay, so we'll now get a train running from San Francisco South into Laredo North to drop off our fuel. I wonder, what are our grades like here? Let me do some checking. So we're coming from here, 7.1, heading up quite significantly, but back down again, and then heading up again. I wonder if we could electrify this little section of track and actually run this with one of our bipolar locomotives. I'm going to give it a go. This is a fairly short section, and we could potentially treat this as a bit of a pilot for potential future electrified freight. So I'm going to run with that and say that's what we're doing here. So once again, this is a bit of an experiment. I don't know if this is going to be something we will use, you know, as a significant part of our network, but it's an option, and these are very powerful locomotives as well. So we'll get one purchased, and we will fill it up with tank cars. And we'll run its own network. It's going to be from San Francisco to Laredo. So I'm actually keen to see how this goes. I don't know if it's something that we're going to continue with, you know, as a significant part of the network, as I mentioned, but we can always give it a go. And we've got opportunities where we could potentially utilize electrification. We could even run sort of short electric trains from Laredo South to Laredo North here as well to take advantage of the sort of motive power we have to push our stone up the grade a little bit quicker. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. While that's all sort of starting to heat up, I do want to continue some of the freight optimization we've been doing over the last episode or so. And we'll pop over to here to Dayton South and have a look and see. So we've got the Dayton to Laredo freight line with a significant amount of food that's wanting to go out. What have we got running on this right now? So we do have, an all boxcar train that is absolutely full of food. We've got a mixed boxcar and tank train, and we have an all tank train. I don't know if this is actually the best thing we could be doing here. I don't know if we need an all tank train. So potentially what we could do here is switch this over to be partially boxcars as well. So we might try and halve the capacity here. That might be a bit better, but let's see how it goes. Other terrain that does need some attention is the Dayton to Roseville freight line. As you can see, massive amounts of construction materials and also fuel waiting. If we have a look through, we've got quite an old train, I think this one is. That's, yeah, 64 years old. So we can definitely get this one replaced with a higher capacity and hopefully a bit faster fuel train to start with. Okay, so that's one good change we can be making there. Where are you right now? Okay, cool. I was wondering, it seemed like I might have been confused, but no, it's fine. We have... this one's okay, actually. I do want to get one additional train on here, however, running just flat cars, or state cars, I should say, actually. Well, we're going to take the opportunity to do a bit of a ride along on our first electric freight train. So we're going to be picking up fuel from San Francisco and taking it up to Laredo to integrate with the rest of the freight network. I hope you enjoy this one. And here we are arriving at Laredo Freight Hub. So overall, it seemed like the ride was pretty quick, pretty smooth. There were a few slowdowns with, slow trains sitting in front, but overall I think it worked pretty well. Laredo is still a bit of a bottleneck, so that's something we'll probably look to fix early next episode. But yeah, overall I think the electric freight experiment is working pretty well, and I'm keen to continue it and maybe roll it out across a few other lines as well. Well, that is going to be about all we have time for in this episode, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to all my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. A big shout out to my Founders Club patrons, Caleb and Isaiah. Thank you so much for helping to make this content happen. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.